This is Channel 9 Eyewitness News at 10. Coverage you can count on.
Uncharted territory. Never seen nothing like it.
Tonight, what's sure to be a long recovery process for many begins following Hurricane Nicole.
Our cameras caught several unbelievable moments, from a coastal road being badly damaged to homes collapsing and falling into the ocean.
I heard a loud crack, and that whole section of wall fell over.
Last night, we spotted a home showing signs of severe damage from Nicole as the storm was heading our way. By daybreak, we saw the aftermath as the home collapsed.
And now the seawalls are gone, and homes are falling in the ocean. It's very surreal.
And tonight, we have team coverage as we get a better look at the destruction left behind by Hurricane Nicole, while Central Florida begins recovery efforts.
Yeah, and needless to say, from that video, Hurricane Nicole left a lasting mark on several parts of our coast, both physically for the coast and mentally for people. Good evening, I'm Greg Warmoth.
I'm Martha Sagowski. Tonight, many people are just starting to try and figure out where to begin the cleanup and recovery process after such a devastating storm. We have team coverage tonight of some of the most severe destruction left behind by Nicole. Chris Heath is standing by in New Smyrna Beach. Jeff Deal is in Cocoa Beach with a look at all the damage there.
But first, let's get out to Shannon Butler, who's live in Wilbur by the Sea, where people there actually saw homes collapse into the ocean this morning. Shannon.
You know, Greg, when I was with you guys last night, we watched as just one of those homes started to slowly fall into the ocean. What we did not expect is that when daylight came, that would be the scene all up and down this part of Wilbur by the Sea. Take a look. This is just one of many houses that have toppled into the ocean overnight. High tide just came and went. So far, so good. It looks the same as it did before. There was a lot of concern about what would happen tonight when another high tide came. These structures have been deemed up safe, and right now there is no telling when these people will be able to come home.
It's horrifying. It's horrifying. There's so many houses already in the drink.
Mike McGinley has lived here 30 years and has never seen anything like this. There's no way you could have thought these houses would fall in.
Never, never. I would have never guessed it. I've seen a lot of really bad storms, and I've seen the beach disappear 2 or 3 times since I've lived here. It's never breached seawalls like this before, never.
Houses like his neighbors. This $1 million-plus home was here yesterday, but is now toppled into the sea. He says after Hurricane Ian, some of the seawalls were built just in case of another storm, but those walls were no match for back-to-back storms.
He had a temporary seawall built, and it was really shored up, really nice with wood and, you know, really structurally sound looking. I don't think it lasted an hour. There was like no evidence of it even existing.
And that's the story all along A1A and Wilbur by the Sea. Concrete has crumbled, pools melted into the ocean. And look at this. The sand washed away underneath this home. A gap now so big you could park a bus under it. Dozens of structures looking just like this, all now deemed unsafe. Now take a look. This is what most of the walkways along A1A actually look like. They have collapsed not only under Hurricane Ian, but now after this storm. Earlier today, we were walking along the beach. We showed you those images from down up into the houses. As we were leaving, there was a gentleman on one of these walkways that actually fell off. Rescue teams had to lift him up through all of this erosion to get him back onto A1A. It was quite a feat. In the meantime, the SWAT team had to go house by house to check to make sure no one was inside. They actually helped people get their stuff out of their homes, what they could salvage. But again, there is a curfew here until 7 o'clock in the morning. It is very clear that it is not safe here, and they do not want people going up and down A1A. Those bridges, some of them also still closed. We are live in Volusia County tonight. Shannon Butler, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
Homes broken into, entire condominiums evacuated, and lives upended. New Smyrna Beach was hammered by Hurricane Ian last month, obliterating the sand dunes that had protected them. And when Nicole hit, there was no protection. Channel 9's Christopher Heath is live in New Smyrna Beach. And Chris, the devastation is certainly widespread.
Absolutely, Martha. And I want to give you just a glimpse of kind of what we have seen up and down this beach. Behind me, the sign says it, closed, storm damage. That used to be a staircase leading down into the beach. It's gone now. That's about a 15, 20-foot drop there. The stairs gone. The concrete snapped into the sand, pulled away. And this is all done within the last 24 hours. By the time the sun rose and the worst of Hurricane Nicole had passed, residents emerged to see just what the storm had left behind.
We got a text that the deck was gone, and then, it wasn't good, so we drove over this morning as soon as the bridges opened.
Joel Blake's home was still standing, but the sand holding the foundation was gone. He quickly went to buy concrete blocks and lumber to try and support the structure, but it was already too late.
A couple hours ago, you could hear it cracking, and then it just went in.
All of these homes had been protected by sand dunes up until 6 weeks ago. However, Hurricane Ian erased the dunes, and in doing so, any measure of protection. Just up the beach is this condo complex, and if you follow me, you'll see the seawall. It started to go last night as the waves came crashing in. By the morning, the drains had started to fail. By mid-afternoon, residents were told they needed to evacuate.
Distant bomb. It was the boom and the bang, and it was loud with like buckets of water being doused on you.
Cassandra Everett has lived here for 18 years. She rode out the storm with her husband. Now they must evacuate. The building is potentially unsafe.
It's unsettling. My husband's older, so it does make a difference. It's very uncomfortable, but we're fortunate we have options.
Options for so many out here mean leaving and wondering when or if they can come back. And you really cannot overstate how important those dunes are and what they do, not just in protecting homes and property out here, but it's a habitat for wildlife. And now the dunes are gone, and many of the homes here in New Smyrna Beach are gone as well. Reporting live in New Smyrna Beach, Christopher Heath, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
Hundreds of people had to be evacuated in Daytona Beach shores after city leaders deemed several hotels and condos unsafe. There's more than a dozen buildings east of A1A that the city says are just no longer safe. Many of those buildings have had seawalls that are collapsed or compromised. Some people who were forced out are unsure what they will do.
I'm out. I want to go home. I want to go back to Kentucky.
City leaders are asking people to be patient for when these buildings can be cleared and reopened. In total, Volusia County's emergency management officials have deemed at least 49 beachfront buildings unsafe due to damage from Nicole. That includes 24 hotels and condos, all of which are along South Atlantic Avenue in Daytona Beach. Along with that, another 25 single-family homes in Wilbur by the Sea were also declared structurally unsafe, Greg.
And Martha, just to the south in Brevard County, we saw some of the highest wind speeds as Hurricane Nicole hit Florida, and that brought some damage like this along with it, but many people feel fortunate that it wasn't worse. Let's not forget that Brevard was not hammered as much on the beach by Ian. Channel 9's Jeff Deal live in Cocoa Beach for us tonight. Jeff, some of the damage came after the main part of the storm had already passed through.
It did, yeah. I'm standing in front of a restaurant right now that used to be a gas station. It had one of those covers that you all drive under when you're pumping your gas, but this is what it looks like right now. You can see it's down on the ground. Check out how huge that thing is. It was just after 8 this morning when this whole thing came crashing down right here in the middle of the parking lot.
As Hurricane Nicole battered the coast, we saw sideways rain as fierce wind whipped out on A1A in Cocoa Beach. But as the sun came up in this part of Brevard County for many, including the owner of 4th Street Filling Station, Daniel Todd, there was reason for optimism.
Canopy was still up, some gates were broken, trees are down, normal storm stuff.
But Nicole wasn't done yet, despite the main storm well out of the way. Late in the morning, the massive overhang left over from the gas station that used to be on this property crashed to the ground.
It's crazy, just good thing we weren't here and nobody else was here.
Over on Merritt Island, an awning blew off a building over the top of that building and into some power lines on the other side. We saw a damaged park sign, lines down, and debris and yard waste lining the roads in Brevard County. Winds ripped shingles off a roof and threw them everywhere.
Some shingles, it was in my yard, all down the road, past the next house.
Ralph Adkins told us his neighbor just had the roof repaired 2 weeks ago after it was damaged by Ian. The folks here know these kinds of problems.
Is it broken? Is it broken?
Pale in comparison to others hit harder by Hurricane Nicole.
Could have been worse. Luckily, nobody got hurt. Takes away some parking. It's unfortunate. It's definitely not ideal.
And the good thing is, even with this, the restaurant does have power. They were able to get back open. I just walked by there a little while ago. They've got a lot of customers inside here already. Reporting live in Cocoa Beach, Jeff Deal, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
Right now, tens of thousands of people remain in the dark. We have a look at the remaining outages caused by Hurricane Nicole. OUC has more than 3,000 customers without power. Duke is reporting more than 15,000 customers in the dark. And FPL says it's working to restore power to more than 46,000 of its customers. Thankfully, Nicole